Quick question. When a whale shoots that giant spray into the air, what is that? If you said water, you're wrong. Don't feel bad, almost everyone gets this wrong. It's in cartoons, movies, and children's books. Even the famous novel Moby Dick describes it as water. The idea that whales shoot water through a hole in their head has been around for hundreds of years, but it is completely false. What actually comes out of a whale's blowhole is something far more interesting, and the real story behind why it happens, where the blowhole came from, and what scientists can learn from it is one of the most fascinating things in all of nature. Let's set the record straight. It's not water, it's breath. Here's the simple truth. A whale's blowhole is its nose. That's it. Just a nose that moved to the top of its head over millions of years of evolution. And just like you breathe out on a cold morning and see a little cloud of steam in the air, that's exactly what a whale is doing, just at a much, much bigger scale. When a whale dives deep, it holds its breath. Some whales hold it for a surprisingly long time. Humpback whales can hold their breath for around 30 minutes. Sperm whales can go without breathing for up to 90 minutes. And they dive deep. The deepest recorded sperm whale dive ever measured was 565 meters below the surface. After all that time underwater, the whale comes back up with lungs full of warm, used air. It needs to get rid of it fast and take in a fresh breath before diving again, so it exhales with enormous force. That warm air rockets out of the blowhole and slams into the much cooler air above the ocean. The temperature difference causes the water vapor in the breath to instantly condense, just like your own breath on a cold day. That condensation is the cloud you see. It's not water being shot from inside the whale's body. It's breath turning into mist the moment it hits the open air. There's also a bit of mucus mixed in, the same way your own breath carries tiny droplets when you breathe out hard. And sometimes a small amount of seawater that was sitting on top of the blowhole gets blasted upward too. But the core of it is just breath. Warm, used, slightly gross whale breath. How fast does it come out? Now here's where it gets wild. Scientists have measured the speed of a whale's exhale. In a young grey whale, air was recorded blasting out at up to 720 kilometers per hour, faster than most commercial aeroplanes fly. A blue whale's lungs can hold around 5,000 litres of air, the same as filling roughly 200 car tyres, all of it pushed out in one powerful burst. The spout of a blue whale can shoot up to 9 meters high, about the height of a 3-story building, visible from kilometers away. Ancient sailors spotted these spouts long before they could even see the whale, which is partly why the myth started. They saw a geyser of white mist exploding from the ocean and assumed the animal must be shooting water upward. Completely understandable, completely wrong. Why is the nose on top of the head? This is where the real story gets interesting. Whales were not always ocean animals. This is something that still blows people's minds when they hear it, but whales are descended from land mammals. Around 50 million years ago, the ancestors of modern whales walked on land. Whales are descended from land mammals, something that still blows people's minds. They looked like a large dog or deer. Over millions of years, they spent more time in the water where food was easier to find. Their front legs became flippers, their back legs disappeared, their tails became powerful flukes for swimming, and their nostrils? They gradually moved from the front of the face all the way to the top of the head. Why? Because it is far more efficient. Instead of lifting their entire head out of the water to breathe, which takes energy, a whale can simply skim the surface. The blowhole barely breaks through for a second. One fast exhale, one fast inhale, and the whale is back under. The whole breath can take less than 2 seconds. It is one of the most elegant evolutionary solutions in nature. Millions of years of tiny changes, all pointing toward that one simple improvement. A nose on the top of the head that lets an animal breathe while barely slowing down. Each whale has its own signature spout. Here's something most people have no idea about. Every species of whale produces a differently shaped spout. Experienced whale watchers can identify which species is nearby just by looking at the shape of the blow, without ever seeing the animal's body. Blue whales produce a tall, straight column of mist up to 9 meters high. Humpback whales produce a wide, bushy cloud shaped like a balloon. Right whales have two blowholes in a V shape, so their spout splits into two streams that look like a heart. Sperm whales have their blowhole slightly to the left side of their head, so their spout shoots out at an angle. Baleen whales, the ones without teeth that filter food through plates in their mouths, have two blowholes. Toothed whales, like sperm whales and orcas, have just one. It's like a fingerprint, a personal signature written in breath and steam. What scientists are learning from whale breath. And this is the part that is genuinely amazing. Scientists have figured out how to collect and study whale breath. Using drones fitted with small petri dishes, they fly over surfacing whales and capture the mist as it shoots upward, without disturbing the animals at all. And what they find inside that mist is extraordinary. Whale breath contains DNA, it contains hormones, it contains bacteria, it contains stress markers. It even contains evidence of pollution and disease. From a single drone flight over a surfacing whale, without touching the animal, without stressing it, without getting anywhere near it, scientists can now tell whether a whale is healthy, whether it is stressed, whether it has been exposed to oil or chemicals, and whether it is pregnant. Scientists can also identify individual whales by their spout shape alone. Something that used to require hours of observation can now happen in seconds. One small cloud of mist, and researchers can read an entire medical profile. So let's go back to where we started. That massive white spout bursting from the ocean? Not water. It's the equivalent of a deep, hard exhale after holding your breath for half an hour at the bottom of the ocean. It's the moment the biggest animals on Earth come back to the surface to do the most basic human thing imaginable. Just breathe. And tucked inside that simple act is millions of years of evolution. A nose that migrated across an entire skull, lungs bigger than most rooms, and enough information to tell scientists everything about the health of the ocean itself. The whale isn't showing off, it just needed some air. Now you know what you're really looking at. If this changed the way you see something you thought you already knew, hit the like button, it means a lot. Drop in the comments what other animal fact you always thought was true but turned out to be wrong. It might just become the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. New video every week. See you in the next one.